Morning squad. Today is Wednesday the 13th of September. I thought I'd just give like a little update from the game over the weekend, then just talk a little bit more about my training that I'm going to do today, and then I'll show some clips just so you guys get an idea of the training that I get up to. Over the weekend, I think it was the second round of the Steel and Sons Cup. It was us, Lisburn Distillery versus East Belfast, who are a Premier Division Amateur League team. So they're kind of like the tier below us, kind of like the league below us. If they win their league or they come second, I think they go into a playoff to come into our league. So like just a little bit below us, but still a very good team. And yeah, it was kind of a tough game. Not a lot of football played by us. There were some nice passages of play, but overall it wasn't the best game for us. We lost 3-2, pretty close affair. We had some big chances. They had some big chances that they missed, and we missed obviously, but it was 3-2. I wasn't playing like before the game. The manager came up to me and said basically you won't be playing today, we can only have 3 subs and you're going to be starting next week in another cup competition, the Irish Cup. I was like, that was fair enough. I feel like I've been doing well and wasn't playing, but obviously playing next week, so happy enough.
No point talking to him, he hasn't got a mind of his own to change.
Obviously out of the Steel and Sons Cup now, but we're in plenty of other cups. But yeah, today I was going to get some clips of some of the training that I do and kind of where I started and why I started doing this kind of training and the impact it's had on my game. So without further ado, I'll get the clips of my individual training session. Alright, so this is an example of a technical football training session that I would do, but just real quick, like why would I do a technical football session? Probably pretty obvious, but to improve technically. So I'm coming from mainly a running, so cross country and track and field background. That's what I mainly did for the past 15 years or so. I played a lot of football when I was younger, but really just got back into it after I finished university. So I have very good fitness. I was playing football at the amateur league level and making the step up to semi-professional. I knew that I needed to improve technically if I wanted to thrive as a semi-professional footballer and hopefully progress to professional. So doing these technical football sessions to progress technically and also practice the skills that I'm most likely to do in a game. So as you're watching the clips, you'll see that I'm doing a lot of wall passing. Again, it's probably quite obvious, but the reason for doing wall passing and so much of it is to practice getting clean connection with the side of your foot. So in games you can have more accurate passing. Your pass goes to your intended target. It goes with the correct weight of pass to the correct foot of your teammate. And it's just a very simple thing to make you a more effective footballer. So I would usually start with wall passing as a bit of a warm-up, but also to practice that clean connection on the side of my foot, along with all the other things that I was talking about. And from there, I would sometimes go straight into wall volleys. But here you'll see that I go into some half volleys again, just working on that clean connection of the side foot, as well as hitting the ball with the right weight so that it bounces once before me. You may also notice on some of these wall passes, like the ball gets stuck underneath me, so it is trickier doing wall passes on this tarmac surface, especially when it's dry. And with the beat up ball that I'm using, there is a lot of friction between the ball and the ground, so it does get stuck, but it still is good practice to get that clean connection in the wall passing and just improve your passing in general. So I do a lot of tennis ball keepy ups as well, but I'll come back to that. I want to talk first about the wall volleys. And I probably think practicing wall volleys has maybe had the biggest impact in my game. In Northern Irish football, sometimes like you may notice that the ball isn't always on the ground sometimes, or often I'll say it's in the air, and so you have to be comfortable just doing simple passes, side foot passes, while the ball's in the air. And the first time I noticed this being a thing that I should focus on is when I first moved to Aquinas Football Club in the 6th division of Northern Irish football, so the amateur league level. And one of the warm-ups they did is there's people organised around the 18-yard box on the outside, and then there's people in the middle. And so the people on the outside are holding footballs, throwing it to the people in the middle, and then the people in the middle are just like side foot volleying it back to them. And my first few sessions at Aquinas, we were doing this, and the ball was kind of going everywhere when it was thrown at me. My side foot coordination was not good at all, and I was like, okay, I really need to work on this, because it is a move that I do frequently during the game, and every player does during the game. Like, you need to be comfortable. If the ball is off the ground, just doing a simple pass to a teammate, the ball is not always going to be on the ground. So I realized I needed to practice this, and then I saw some clips of a guy called Strivemore on Instagram. He was doing a lot of wall volleys and wall training in general, and then so I went on a bit of exploring to find a good wall for me to practice wall volleys, wall passing, that sort of thing, and then came across this mighty fine wall here. Now when people ask me where or who I'm going to train with, I just say I'm going to train with my best friend, the wall, because it's probably the most frequent training that I do, doing work with the wall. And if you're a footballer and you don't do any wall work, I'd strongly recommend doing wall volleys at the bare minimum, but also encourage doing wall passing. And then I don't have any clips of it in this episode, but I do just like wall free play, just doing like keepy ups, hit it off the wall, control it in different directions. Also do things like pass it firmly against the wall, control it in a direction. And then with the tennis ball, I don't just do keepy ups, I do like hit it off the wall, control it, kind of run along the wall, or passing the tennis ball along the wall and like keeping it up in the air. So doing stuff like that. I don't think I have any clips of that, but I will in the future. I can't encourage footballers enough to get comfortable with a wall and a ball, as it will improve your game massively, and it's improved my game massively. And like I was saying, especially with wall volleys, I'm so much more comfortable in a game now and so much more coordinated in a game now. If the ball's up in the air, or say it's like a long diagonal to me, like first time, controlled cushion pass to my teammate and it goes where it's meant to go, and my side foot coordination is so much better than it used to be, and it means that I am so much more effective with it in a game. And as a quick side note on confidence, practicing things like this that you're going to do really frequently during a game will improve your confidence. If you've done it 1,000 times playing it against the wall, when you're doing it in a game, you just know you're going to be able to do it. So I'll be doing videos on confidence, but this is a massive part of confidence, is actually practicing it so much and getting so comfortable with it that you know you're going to be able to do it 99 times out of 100 in a game. Also, my current goal with wall volleys is to get over 200 in a row. Usually doing 5 on my left foot, 5 on my right foot, so alternating between left and right, making sure I get that balance between left and right. I don't want to just be a right-footed player, to be just as good on my left foot as I am with my right foot. Making sure I get that balance, not just for my coordination, but also for my muscles. Like, I don't want to just be working on my right leg and then my right leg gets really strong and then my left one is weak. I gotta get that balance, both for coordination and for like muscles and strength. Doing a bit of tennis ball work here, just throwing it up a little bit in the air and trying to control it. Also, it's kind of tricky to get the tennis ball off the ground. It's so wee. Yeah, so kicking the ball up high, getting a nice control pass, or nice control touch. And I don't frequently do passing along the ground with the tennis ball. I sometimes do it. It's not really that beneficial because it's too small. It's not like you're passing it with the same part of your foot that you'd be passing a regular ball. Whereas with tennis ball keepy ups, you're doing the keepy up on the same part, the laced part of the foot. So that's the same as the part of the foot that you'd be doing with the full size ball. So trying to do some Maradona sevens here. So right foot, right knee, right shoulder, head, left knee, left foot. So it probably just looks like attempting to freestyle, with, I guess it sort of is, but in my head, just being comfortable in any position on the pitch will not hurt and will only help. So even though I might not shoulder the ball that much, I'm going to be kneeing the ball and heading the ball frequently in a game, so I want to be comfortable with that. Where I started with tennis ball keepy ups, I could barely do like 10 in a row. I was wearing different shoes, but I also was nowhere near as coordinated. I struggled to get 10, 20 in a row, and then eventually I got up to 20, 30, really struggling. And the funny thing with keepy ups is the better you get at it, the faster you can improve. So at the start, you're getting like 5, 10 keepy ups, and you're dropping it, you're having to go get the ball. But when you get good at it, you'll get 10 in a row, 20 in a row, 50 in a row. And once you get 50 in a row, you just have to get 50 in a row. It's so much easier to progress from 50 to 200 than it is from 0 to 20. because once you get off the ground, once you're hitting like 20, 25, 30 reps in a row, it means each set you're getting 30 reps, whereas at the start, each set you're only getting like 5 reps, so most of the time you're spending is just go and get the ball. So it was the same for me with tennis ball keepy-ups. It was very hard at the start. I was struggling to get 10 or 20 in a row. Then I got to 30, still a bit of a struggle. Then get to 50, still struggling. And then the summer before I became a semi-professional player, I set myself a goal of trying to get 1,000 tennis ball keepy-ups, which at the time was just a stupidly large number of keepy-ups. I don't even think I'd got 100 in a row at the time, but I knew that if I could get 1,000 in a row, it would mean that I'm incredibly consistent with that particular touch. And so when it came to a game, I'd be very confident in my ability to control the ball, because if I can control a tennis ball 1,000 times in a row, it makes it so much easier to control a regular size ball. So I set the goal of doing 1,000 during that summer. I got the 100, I got the 200, I got the 300, and after 300, it really just became a concentration test. When you can do 300 consistently, which I could, it became about holding your concentration and continuing to practice and be disciplined to get that 1,000. I'd be doing tennis ball keepy-ups trying to get up to 1,000, and I'd get to like 500, 600, and then all it takes is one little misstep, one little miskick, and it hits a particular bony part of your foot and then shoots off to the left or shoots off to the right. And so you've got to maintain that concentration for 1,000 keepy-ups, and that was the main thing. So even if it didn't improve me technically, it improved my concentration, it improved my discipline, it improved my consistency of practice, and then as an added bonus, it really improved my coordination as well. Like I was saying, I got up to 500, 600. At that point, it was just about concentration, and I kept putting in the time, I kept putting in the practice, and eventually I got to over 1,000. I think I got 1,048 in the end, and since I got that over 1,000, I've kind of scaled it back to just maintaining like a good 300. Like I was saying before, like if I can do 300, I can do 1,000. It's just a matter of concentration. So now for me, it's more just about maintaining that coordination. So I just like to maintain about 300 rather than having to maintain 1,000, because it does take quite a length of time. It probably took about 10 minutes of juggling, 10 minutes of keepy-ups. So now that I have got the 1,000, there are more effective ways that I could spend my time with my training. So like to maintain the 300, but glad I did the 1,000. And if you're a footballer looking to improve your coordination and your technical ability, I definitely recommend doing tennis ball keepy-ups until you are confident, until you're confident and competent with them. And if you've never done them before, I'd set you a target of doing 20. If you have done them before, let's see if you can get up to 100 or 200. Then if you want to be a baller, recommend get up to 1,000 and let me know when you do. Also enjoy just to do a little bit of free play, do random little touches, just to let it flow. Sometimes, just do unplanned, unstructured stuff, just free play. I'm a big fan of the game Rocket League.
This is Rocket League!
And one of the best ways to improve in Rocket League is just free play, or it's just a mode called free play, and just get touches on the ball. See how the ball moves when you hit it with a particular sort of spin, when you control it with a certain part of your foot. So it's important not just to do structured wall passing, wall volleys, tennis ball keepy-ups, but just to do free play, experiment with different touches, and that's one of the things that I enjoy to do the most. I don't do a ton of it in this video, but I would do a decent amount of it in my training. Bit of frustration there about to throw the ball, or light frustration. And one of the coaches that I follow on Instagram, Coach Christo Manginis, he would say frustration is good. If you're not getting frustrated in your training, you're not challenging yourself hard enough. So if you're getting frustrated in your own training, that's good. Keep pushing. And it's also, that frustration is a trigger for your brain to highlight that the stuff that you're working on is important, and also label the work and the pathways that your brain is doing as something that needs to be slightly changed and improved. In future episodes, I can talk more about how the brain works and actually changes its structure based on training and practicing new techniques. But to cut a long story short, that frustration helps you improve. Also, when I was doing my tennis ball keepy-ups, I noticed that my left foot was less coordinated than my right, and so a lot of my mistakes and my drops were coming from my left foot. So it was important to practice just doing my left foot to improve that, to get my left foot as good as my right foot. Here, just wanted to get some strides just to open up the legs. Stride the first half of the pitch, walk the second, and do that 4 to 6 times just to open up the legs, as I can sometimes be feeling stiff after matches or hard training sessions. So it's just something like to loosen up rather than to try and get faster or stronger. And similar thing again, except this time dribbling with a ball. This is a skill that I think even players at the Premier League need to practice, is sprinting with the ball and trying to go in as straight a line as possible. Maybe I'll try and throw in some clips here, but you see certain footballers that are breaking through on goal. They've got the ball in front of them, they're behind the last line of defence, so they're sprinting through on goal towards the goalkeeper. They've got defenders chasing them down, and all they have to do is run with the ball in a straight line towards the goal and try to finish. But as they're dribbling, they take a missed touch, the ball goes to the right a bit, the ball goes to the left a bit, it gets stuck behind them, and their inability just to dribble quickly in a straight line means that the recovering defenders catch up with them and they lose that opportunity, and they ruin a fantastic opportunity to score a goal for their team. And it's all from their inability just to dribble in a straight line quickly. And so that's what I'm trying to practice here, and it's definitely a skill that I still need to work on. So a bit of striding, bit of straight line dribbling to end the session. Not a long one today, but pleased to be able to show what kind of training that I do during my technical sessions. Hope you guys enjoyed and maybe learned a thing or two and can apply some of the things I was talking about to your own sessions. So the overall impact of these technical sessions on my ability as a footballer, it's kind of transformed my ability to impact a game. Like at the amateur league level, you have a bit more time on the ball, but when you go to the semi-professional level, or I imagine even more so when you go to the professional level, you've got less time on the ball. Your touch has got to be better, it's got to be cleaner. So for me, working on these technical abilities meant that I have a better first touch, better passing, both on the ground and in the air. And overall, it's just allowed me to play better and have more of a positive impact on my team, and essentially give my team a better chance of winning. So I know I definitely still have work to do in this department, and I'll continue doing it. It's possibly the most important part of my training that I'm doing, is improving or trying to improve technically. Definitely something that I'll be continuing moving forwards, and I'll continue to share with you guys what I'm up to. So squad, this has been another episode of Project Realise, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.